Family, what up? I have a question for you today. It's with a little sense of urgency. Here's the word. Here's the question. It is, what are you doing? Serious question that I'm asking right now. What are you doing? What are you doing with your gifts? What are you doing with your talents? What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your resources? With all of the challenges that are happening in us and around us, this is the perfect opportunity for us to create. This is the perfect opportunity for us to partner, collaborate, be in the right environments where solutions are being discussed. There's something that's happening June 6th and 7th that I think will be a perfect opportunity for all of us to come together. And it's our second installment of Infusion. And the focus and the theme is the word innovate. Oh yeah, we're going to be talking solutions. We're going to be talking creating. We're going to be talking renovating. We're going to be talking modernizing. We're going to be talking about progress and moving forward because the solution is within us. So if you feel stuck, you want to be there June 6th and 7th. You feel frustrated, you want to be there June 6th and 7th because there is something you can do about it. I've invited my good brother, Dr. Jamon Glenn, to join us as we curate this education to give us the tools that we need to be innovative. Sometimes necessity is the fuel for innovation. And I believe now is the time for us to create. See you June 6th and 7th. Family, what's up? We are live today. Listen, I know it's a little early. Some of you are just finishing your Sunday naps. You ate something that gave you the itis. You had gravy on your rice. But listen, I got my brother here today, and I'm excited about this conversation. I gotta tell y'all how he gets on me too. Just being himself, right? And you need Andre Jackson in your life. I mean, Shaquan Powell's,
Yeah.
Andre Jackson. Let me tell y'all something. If you ever hear a trainer not being crazy, don't go to them. Don't mess with a trainer that you do not call crazy, right? There's a switch that they have. It's out of love. It's out of wanting to see results. But we'll talk about that a little later. But I'm gonna give a moment, just another minute, for some people to get logged in as we're going live a little earlier than normal. But whether you're watching live or watching the replay, this conversation will definitely be fruitful. It will be helpful, and it will also help you to grow in the area of health. Over the last couple of weeks, we've been having what we've been calling infusion talks. We've been having conversation around innovation and creativity. We've been talking in the space of worship. We've been talking in the space of small business and ministry. Tonight, we're going to be talking health. Coming up on Tuesday night, I got my brother Jonathan Dunn and a couple of others that are coming on, and we're just going to be looking at creativity just from a couple of more different aspects as we get ready for Infusion, which kicks off this Friday with the good brother Dr. Jamon Glenn from Chicago, Illinois, my brother Percy Robinson, and my sister Kiana Coley. So, y'all, I'm extremely excited if you can't tell from my voice. Do me a favor when you come into the room, let us know where you're logging in from. And because tonight's topic is centered around health, we'll even take some questions for those that will be logging in. So we're just going to tag a couple people. We're going to get this conversation started. Man, I want all of you to do me a favor. If you have not registered for Infusion, we want you to register for Infusion. I believe that it's really going to be a blessing. I'm talking my church jargon right now. I think it's going to be a blessing to your life. Here's the focus, right? Every Infusion, we cover three things. We cover spiritual development, we cover personal development, and we also cover professional development. Those are the three areas that we consistently target. We do theme it as March this year. It was centered around soul care. Right? That's the spiritual development that connected to the personal and the professional development from the emotional and mental wellness space. But we talked about it from the soul, the perspective of the soul. You can't have real self-care without soul care, right? And Dr. Guy Robinson was amazing. We'll you know what? We're gonna share that. We're gonna share that event this week as well. So make sure you stay locked into our page. This June, this coming week, we've been focusing on innovation with the transition changes that's been happening in policy, in government and administrative. probably on your jobs in the economy, it's extremely important to be calm, fluid, flexible, more agile, cultivating different skills. You have more than one talent, you have more than one gift, cultivating different skills, but most of all, that all ties into being innovative. And
Mhm.
the foundation of that is our God. It's a creative God who created the heaven and the earth. As his children, we possess his DNA to be creative. Creatives isn't just for the arts and entertainment space, but creative is for anywhere that you are providing solutions,
Mhm.
anywhere that you are providing answers. And so I'm excited. I got my brother on with me tonight. So y'all, let me tell y'all about Dre a little bit. We're not gonna go too deep, right? So 2020, I was struggling really, really bad with my weight, and I've been borderline high blood pressure, borderline diabetes for the last few years. But 2020, it got really, really bad. Like my wife and I, we were being innovative, man. We were innovating meals, but not
Mhm.
healthy meals. And and in that 30-day span between us just cooking, I mean, we were cooking every day, 2 or 3 times a day, stuffed burgers. And I mean, we even tried mushroom burgers. Like we were trying to, just change up the diet and our palate a little bit, right? And man, before I knew it, I had gained about 25 pounds from 30 days of being, and I mean, we were eating good. We were having game night. We were picking up drinks.
That's
Um,
that pandemic weight, boy.
Listen, bro, I was not one of the ones who was talking divorce during the pandemic. We were talking meals.
That's
We was
it.
talking game night. I mean, Shakila, I'm talking about being innovative, bro. Every night from like 10 to 10:20. That's when my man from New York, DJ, he's out in LA.
Oh, D
D
Nice.
Nice. That's when D Nice was doing his 24-hour
Yeah.
thing. Every night from like 10 to 10:20, she would get up and just start dancing. She would start dancing, but I would just be sitting there enjoying the mixes. So, so finally started doing something about it, started walking, and then a few months later, I hit Dre up and like, bro, we got to do something. And so he was one of the places that I was able to go to during the pandemic. He was sanitized the workout space, man, and we were able to really accomplish some things. And I really appreciate his passion, his love for it, but then also his passion and his love for me. His passion and his love for me because he wanted to see me healthy more than anything. To the point where one night we're live. I have a bubbly, but because he saw a red can, he thought it was like a Coke or something. He like, bro, what you? Now we on live, right? He like, bro, what you drinking? And I'm like, Dre, this is a bubbly. It's a
There ain't
sparkling
nothing in
water.
there.
Listen, right? That was one incident. I'm telling y'all, he loves me. And so this other incident. So at this point, we're getting back to normal. Our schedules kind of crazy. So I hit him up because I'm in the gym. I'm working on something. So I'm working, and I'm putting the work in, right? I'm taking all of the workouts that he curated for me, and I'm putting in the work. So I'm in the gym trying his workout out, and I hit him up like, bro, I'm trying da 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 da. He was like, yo, that's not your problem. Your problem is eating. Like, Dre, I'm trying to be innovative with my exercise so I don't get boring.
Nah.
He's basically like, yo, you're gonna waste your time with this exercise because when you leave the gym, you're not eating right. Y'all, get you an Andre Jackson in your life that will help you reach your goal and that really, really loves you. Y'all, this is my brother Dre. Say what's up to everybody, man.
What's going on, people? Out there, Jason, you know you are my brother for life. I love you, and I'm always going to tell you the truth. I want to see you be the best version of yourself. So we had to have those conversations. I couldn't sugarcoat it for you and be like, yeah, yeah, the workout looks great. Yeah, record this. This is going to be good for the gram. It's going to be good for the book. No, I want to make sure that you're good for you. You're good for your wife. You're good for the community because you have purpose that far extends beyond, the aesthetic of what it is you are doing in the gym. And if you're
Yeah,
unhealthy, we can't get you like we can't get the thing that you're carrying. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like that's really
yeah,
where I'm at with it. So
yeah.
yeah, man.
Bro, I love you and I appreciate you, man. Like real talk, man. And just it's been some amazing things that has happened for you over the last few years. Y'all, so y'all know we're talking innovation. And again, I mentioned that Dre trains. Dre is also a
Mhm.
coach. Dre is also a singer and musician. Dre plays the drums. Dre sings so well. Dre plays the drums really, really well. But Dre sings really, really well. I mean, like, I have to be careful as his brother because when he be posting those little moments in the car, I'm like, bro, like, this is amazing, y'all. And I'm glad that I have him on tonight. Dre, before we get into our questions, though, before we get into our questions, want to play a little game. Want them to get to know you a
Mhm.
little bit.
All right, here we
So
go.
I'm gonna ask you some questions so we get to know my boy Dre a little more. All right, here we go. The game is this or that. That's what we've been playing with everybody. All right, so we're
Okay.
gonna play. We're gonna play this or that. Right. I don't know who's gonna see this, Dre. I am one of the questions. I am gonna put you on the spot. So make sure you
Uh-oh.
answer right. All
All
right.
right, here we
So,
go.
all right. Here we go. McDonald's or Wendy's?
Neither one. But I
Jodeci.
was no, no, wait. Back in the day, I was a McDonald's dude. Me and Trey used to go to McDonald's. We was getting two supersized fries and a 20 piece. All right.
Ah, man, shout out to Trey. Shout out to Trey. He don't let Trey cheat, and Trey is his best friend.
Word up. Trey lost 100
Trey,
pounds, bro.
Trey doesn't get Trey doesn't he don't get no leeway. He goes
Nah,
hard.
none.
I'm gonna say okay. So, Boys the Men or Jodeci?
Ah, that's not fair. I'm gonna have to say Boys to Men, but not because I don't love Jodeci. I love Jodeci, but Boys to Men, them dudes, they fit the bill more so with what like I identify with vocally. Like
Yeah.
yeah, and they still got it.
Okay. Let's go to one of your passions. Dave Weckl or Dennis Chambers?
Oh, that's not even that, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. Dennis Chambers all day, but Dave Weckl is a monster. But
Absolutely.
Dennis Chambers, like to me, Dennis Chambers was like he's on my Mount Rushmore.
Got you. Got you. Gospel or CCM?
Gospel, gospel. No question for me. CCM is pretty and it's nice, but there's something about gospel music that conjures something in my spirit.
Patterson Catholic, Paramus Catholic.
I will punch Paramus Catholic in the face.
Oh
No
man.
disrespect, all disrespect. Okay,
No
Patterson Catholic
disrespect.
all day.
The real PC, right?
The real PC.
God rest his soul.
Yes.
All right. Shy
Mm.
or Riff?
Come on, dog. Like I'm a hometown guy, you
Here
know.
we go. Here we go.
I love those brothers over at Shy. We got a real bond and a real brotherhood. But come on, man. Listen, Patterson has cemented Riff in history, and we got a street named after us. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I'm a
Indeed.
part of that now. You know what I mean? I got a street sign down on the wall. Like I can't say nothing about Shy, nothing bad about him, but I'm definitely rolling with Riff. Come on, dog.
Man, shout out to Riff, man. Shout out to Mike. Shout out to Chill.
Yeah, man.
Shout out to my man
Smooth B
Capers. Boom. Yeah. Shout out, man,
and
to the fellas, man.
Dell D Damon. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the fellas, man. I mean, history. For those of you who don't know, Riff is face. Now,
That's
Dre and I
it.
went to Madison Catholic, but you know, it's like the song of the city, man.
It's all love, man. 89, that thing came out and took over, bro.
Listen,
And they
man,
still singing it.
bro. Listen, when people will say, "Yo, where are you from?" I say Patterson. They're like, "Well, where is that?" I'm like, "Well, do you know this song, Face?"
Yeah, I
And
know
they
that.
start, yeah, and they start.
Yeah,
So, man,
bruh.
just shout out to those brothers and the remake and everybody involved, man. Listen, y'all, I got my brother on, and I'm calling him my brother. If you don't know, as you can see, there's already a bond. You can see the laughter.
Absolutely.
You can hear the inside jokes, the things that we're not saying. Today, kind of just want to really hit on some of the things that we've mentioned, and that is the health piece. It's a great concern, especially amongst African Americans. As it pertains to our dieting, as it pertains to us being active. Um, even when it comes to theories of genetics and how things are now, and you kind of have those conversations about, well, I inherited this disease, and it's like, well, are you making the same decisions that they made? Because if you're making the same decisions that they made, then you'll probably end up with the same results that they
that they
had.
had. Yep.
Um, man, just let's talk about just some of the things that you've been preaching to your clients, as well as things that you live by.
Bro.
Guys, Dre and I have gone out, and Dre will be
Mm-mm.
in that corner with his salad and his chicken. Dre loves some wings, but Dre is always going to start with the salad, right? And he
Listen,
orders the salad first, and that will determine whether he get the wings, or he's very specific, very intentional.
yeah, man, like you got to be intentional, but like I'm not gonna do anything that's gonna keep me from being able to break bread with my brothers. I don't see y'all often enough, so when I
Yeah,
get the chance to go out, I'm still gonna break bread, even though I'm
yeah,
not gonna eat the bread. You know what I mean? Health wise, bro, like the things that I'm preaching to my clients are the things that I'm putting into practice for myself. 2020 was a big year for I think all of us because we
yeah,
had to relearn how to live life. You and
yeah,
you and Shaquilla weren't the only ones in there gaining weight. Me and my wife were in the house gaining weight. We weren't married yet. So like everybody was, the pandemic kind of caused a bunch of breakups. Now the pandemic brought us together because we crashed up for like 3, 4 weeks straight. And just like y'all, we was in there cooking, okay? Like we ate good. But and we had just come back from our first like big trip, right?
yeah,
Right before the world shut down. We had just got back from Bali. I must have gained 15 pounds out there. I couldn't
yeah,
stop eating. So we come home and now we world shut down and we do this. But it led to me having to make some major changes. And thankfully I didn't have any health concerns, but I didn't like how I felt. I didn't like how I looked. I'm like, I can be better than this. I know I can be better. So I made a decision and I changed and I'm never going back. So I
yeah,
preach the same things to my clients, to those that are prospective clients, to those that will never be clients, just because ideally I want to see us be healthy. Because like I said earlier, like we all have something that we're carrying. And if we aren't healthy enough to fulfill the task, then we can't, somebody's going to miss out on what you got for them. Somebody's going to miss
mm,
out because you're not fulfilling your purpose. So in
yeah,
terms of eating, the right way, like you do things in moderation. But personally, I cut out a lot of the stuff that I used to eat. Here in this country, the foods aren't the greatest. Like it's loaded with preservatives and chemicals and dyes and a bunch of stuff that's causing cancer, that's leading to inflammation. And now we look at it like, well, how come I'm in pain all the time? How come I can't get
mm,
rid of this belly? How come my skin isn't clear? What's wrong with my eyes? What's wrong with this? Why is my hair falling out prematurely? Or what's wrong with my libido? How come I'm so lethargic? I can't do this. Like we're too young to be talking about low libido, low energy, and all of that stuff. Like you're in your 30s and you got a problem with your sex drive.
yeah,
That's an issue. You know what I mean? So I'm preaching these things to people. People like to say I torture them in the gym at times. I'm not torturing folks in the gym, but I am trying to get you to a place where you can do all of the stuff you want to do on a regular basis without a problem.
yeah. That's good, bro. And so for those who will see me drinking something red, this is a supplement. Because of Dre, I now find ways to, get the things that I need. Got some
Get it?
supplements, some recommended things that. So I do a fruit veggie supplement. I do a beet supplement, along with some of the other things that I take because of our conversations and our relationships and our time of training. Man, we're in this space of innovation, man, and I know a lot of people get caught up in routine, right? We like
Mhm.
routine, but then also routine kind of causes us to plateau pretty quick. Man, one of the things that I loved about your approach to this, every time that I walked in, there was a set or several sets of exercises that we would do, even if one or two were from the previous session, it would be mixed in with some others. like attacking certain parts of the body, but then giving also a whole body workout. Man, talk about your approach and being creative in the fitness space as well as the meal space, because you consult on both.
Well, in the fitness space, to be honest with you, the innovation depends on the client, right? I'm gonna cater it or tailor it to the client because some people need that kind of shifting and change,
Yeah,
whereas other people can do the same thing over and over. The
yeah,
simple stuff works. So I'm gonna have you do the same things. It's just a different modality because I'm really just tricking the brain into making you believe we're doing something new. It's just a different version of it. If I'm gonna say, oh yeah, Jay, we're gonna do goblet squats today. All right, well, the next time I'm gonna have you do, I don't know, like a kettlebell rack squat. You're doing the same position, you're just holding a different weight in a different way. So we're working the same muscle group. It's really just to kind of get the person's brain working differently and keep them engaged. As
yeah,
far as the food is tough because it does require consistency and some monotony, right?
yeah,
Like you have to keep it simple just because of where we are. We're not overseas where the food is real food and
yeah,
you can eat. When I left the country, I was able to eat all of the rice, all of the bread, and all of the pasta, and I gained no weight. I eat that stuff here and I'm heavy, I'm
yeah,
bloated, I'm so on and so forth. So it's just very
yeah.
different in the way we go about it. So with the food part, you kind of got to keep it simple. But like God has given us,
Let's talk about
literally given us, He has given us the blueprint for what it is that we're supposed to do.
it.
We
Yeah,
are supposed to fast for a period of time. The body is able to regenerate itself and heal itself, but it
yeah,
can't if you're consistently putting poison in over and over and over again. So, can you
mm,
push away from the plate? It's more than the physical aspect, it's having the mental fortitude to push through. If I can get a client to go through my fasting process, which is just 48 hours, if you can fast for 2 days straight, only taking in water, only taking in, yeah, just taking in your water.
yep,
Can you do that? If you can push through that, then I can train you
yeah,
because you'll have the mental fortitude to push through some of these tough times in the gym.
yeah,
But it's really what you do outside of the gym. I'm gonna see people at max 4 hours a week. That's if they train 4 times a week. You know what I mean? Most people are training 2 or 3 times. So I got 2 to 3 hours every week. We got 168 hours in a week. What are you
yeah,
doing with the 165 that I'm not with you? How are you handling that? You know what I mean? Like my business model is mind, body, and spirit.
yeah,
I am tricking people in and brainwashing them into believing that I'm actually training your body. I am rewiring your thinking. That's it. I'm rewiring your thinking. I'm helping you tap in to the spirit side of this. The physical is going to take care of itself once you get everything else taken care of.
yeah,
That's like my approach to it. And I'm passionate about it because I've seen, like you said earlier, oh, this is hereditary. No, it's not. It's not hereditary. Diabetes is not hereditary. Oh, it just runs in my family. No, you Negroes all eat the same crap the same way all the time. Oh, we're
yeah,
gonna preach, we're gonna go to church, we're gonna have a good time. And then as soon as we get done, we're going to grandma's house and we're gonna have fried chicken, fried fish, candy yams, collard greens, mac and cheese,
hallelujah.
somebody else's mac and cheese, potato salad. You
Mm,
got you got these biscuits and you got these rolls and you got all this stuff that's gonna help us not be able to fulfill God's purpose.
yeah, man, it's interesting you said that because I heard one person say, man, shout out to Brianna Parker, Reverend Bree. She was like, she was talking about one thing, but I kind of connected it to this conversation of health. Of you know, we have people who die of poor health. All right, we'll just say
Hmm.
poor health, and at the repast, we're serving the very food
The
that
same stuff.
contributed, right? On top of the families who add the alcohol to it, right? Like that, right? And yeah, I'm. It's just an interesting dynamic, right? How we do not connect the two, and as you're talking about the mental fortitude and the mind, we don't connect the two, bro. Like we, it's like, and we go all in, right? That's part of the funeral experience. You got to have a repast with some really good food, right? And everything you
Yeah.
just named and a few more items.
I mean, and it tastes so good. but we don't have self-control. And like real talk, it's addictive.
Yeah,
They did a study. Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Like sugar and salt
let's stay here.
are so addictive, and this is why fasting is so necessary.
Let's stay here, bro.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you get addicted to the stuff that you're eating, and then it becomes your God. And you
Come on.
start worshiping this thing, and it becomes an idol, and you don't even realize that it's an idol. You ever seen somebody get angry because they are not allowed to eat a certain thing that they want? Don't you think once you get to that place, you have a problem? Food is supposed to be fuel, right? But it becomes your idol because you get stuck like, you ain't gonna tell me what I'm gonna eat
With an attitude, with like
with attitude.
a real attitude.
Like, and it be the ones who have the worst health conditions. You
Bro.
are in the hospital now and angry because the hospital staff brought you this food that is disgusting, quote unquote disgusting, because it's just the fuel that you need. You're used to
Man,
stuff that's oversalted and too sweet.
yeah, listen, y'all stop bringing your family members that's in the hospital for poor health. Y'all stop bringing them that food from the outside.
Don't do that. Don't do that. You
Y'all
gonna
be bringing
sit.
pastrami sandwiches. They be putting it on a who they contact the family member who's gonna give them what they want, right? And it's
That's
like, yo,
it.
you just got out of a 6 hour procedure for your heart because your arteries were clogged, and you like, yo, go give me that pastrami sandwich from pastrami bistro. Like
Bruh.
just
And like you got enablers like that are gonna help you with that. But then you also have a lack of information, right? You
Mhm.
mentioned somebody having, oh, they just got out of a procedure because their arteries are clogged. Oftentimes people say, oh, well, it starts with high blood pressure. The truth is most of us don't even have high blood pressure. We're mineral and vitamin deficient, but you don't
Listen,
know what the deficiency is, and they don't teach that. And then once you start to learn about it and you say, oh, I don't really have high blood pressure, I have a magnesium
there we
glycinate
go.
deficiency.
Glassing it. There we go. That's
So
that's
once
one
I
of the
start taking 400 milligrams of that per day, and I do that for 60 days, and then I go get checked, and now my blood pressure was 190 over whatever, and now my doctor's like, "Oh, what are you doing? Your blood pressure is 120 over 80, or 122 over 78. It's normal."
bro. I rock that magnesium every. And what's crazy is I really didn't find out about it until I had to take a low doses. I was only taking like 5 milligrams of I forgot the name of it, but I was taking 5 milligrams. Like that's very light because I wasn't in
Right.
a danger zone per se, but it was just like when I started researching, it was like, man, you have a lack of magnesium. Like, I mean, well, you would need magnesium. That's what it is. And I'm just like,
hmm
yo, like,
It's simple. It's simple, bro. It's magnesium allows the basic. There's a muscle in your artery that actually releases it and opens it up so that blood can flow the way it's supposed to. What happens when you have a magnesium deficiency? It can contract, but it can't open itself up. It's like a garden hose that's pinched. So it's going to make it seem like you've got higher blood pressure than you actually do. But they don't teach you that. You know why? Because it's more expensive to put you on medication than
let's
it
go,
is to give you vitamins that you can just pick up real quick.
let's go. Yeah,
That's it, man. This right here is what I'm preaching in the gym. I just need one. If I can just get one who understands it and then really puts it into play and
yeah,
changes. Like I'm
yeah,
so proud of Trey. Trey, when I first started working with Trey in 2015, he was 320 pounds. He's a big guy. He's 6'5", but he was
yeah.
320, and he didn't play sports, right? And it took forever for us to kind of get it together because he fought me on it. But that's my brother. I have a duty and a responsibility. I am my brother's keeper, right?
Sure.
So we pushed through, and then finally it clicked for him. Trey is now walking around at 215. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like he's 215 and in perfect health. Like I'm proud of that guy. And all he does, he'll text me like, "Yo, Dre, can I have this? Like, can I eat that? Like, should I be taking such and such?" Because
yeah.
he gets it now. That's the place I want to continue to go. Because then each one will teach one.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. That's really important having that accountability. You know, and it's important to have it when you're not in the gym.
Yeah.
That's where that's when it's really important. And that's why, sometimes like when it comes to like the food and stuff, like, my wife and I, like, once I tell Shaquilla something, bro, like, I already know that's a wrap. Like, I already know this is disappearing, that is disappearing. Like, I'll see her eating chips and they'll be like, yo, where you get those from? Because she will not have them within my reach.
Yeah.
And I think, you and I talked about it, like, to make sure that I'm eating whole meals,
Hmm.
because I love, just snacking and, whatever, scripture says, whatever you find your hands to do.
That's it.
But
That's it.
I be finding snacks and, and, but I know that's not, healthy for me. If I eat meals, then I'll be, I have a sense of, being full, you
Right.
know, because you you can snack all day, you're just not gonna get full, like it,
Nah.
and you're loading on just so many things that you shouldn't have. But yeah, man. So just a little more on the health, and then I kind of want to pivot to, another piece of innovation, man. Just tapping into some other areas of your life and what you do. Um, but just in this health space, and you just mentioned about, our foods, what we eat, what we consume. Um, and I want to stay there because for some people, for them, it's all about the working out, right? They're
Hmm.
working out, but excuse me, we've seen people that works out, they're lifting heavy, but they're
Hmm.
not eating right, and still end up in cardiac arrest.
Absolutely.
Man, I want to stay there to just, really put a little more emphasis on that eating part, and then because I think you just mentioned it's about the consumption, right? How
Hmm.
much we consume of something. We don't have that discipline part. That discipline part, like, how important is that, and what does that look like?
Discipline is the foundation of everything that we're going to do in and out of the gym. If you want to be, if you want to be better, right? You got to
Yeah,
understand that in the gym is only about 30% of the whole process. Like 30% of anything, there's only one area of athletics where 30% gets you in the Hall of Fame, and that's being a great hitter in baseball.
yeah,
You try to do 30% at anything else, you are not you suck. You need work at that, right? So 30% of this battle is just in the gym. The rest of it is what you do in the kitchen, and that's going to stem from your discipline. Like you got to be locked in, you have to be focused, but you have to learn how it goes, and we have to be innovative
yeah,
in our approach to what we're bringing into the kitchen. There's and at this point, there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for eating poorly because there's way too many options that are affordable.
yeah,
Everything is expensive now. We know that, but there's way too many options that are affordable. So it's really just gaining the knowledge and the information. More times than not, we're lazy. We don't want to do the research. So we pay people for these courses, we pay these trainers, we pay whoever, because I've done the research. If I've done the research and you're honest enough with yourself to say, I don't have the discipline to do all of this on my own, cool. I'm glad that you came to me because I did that part. I had a passion for it, so I did that part for you. I take the guesswork out of it. But let's be diligent and show up. But show up for yourself and do what it is that I'm telling you to do. I'm not gonna steer you wrong. You
I
have to
got
eat right. You know what I'm saying? So it's
you.
it's
Yeah,
it's not hard to do. It's just about being disciplined and breaking old cycles and habits.
a cheat meal is different from a cheat day.
Facts. Facts. A cheat meal is one meal, and that's a cheat meal that you've gotten after you have actually earned it. Don't think because you feel good. I went to the gym every day this week. I got my cardio done. I deserve a cheat meal. Your mindset is still screwed up. When you actually get to the place where you've earned a cheat meal, you probably won't even want it because you'll be thinking too much like, I don't want to screw up what I'm building.
Yeah,
We center everything around food. We got to meet up. Oh, well, let's meet up with brothers. We're gonna get something to eat. Oh,
yeah,
we got to have a meeting. We're gonna do it at dinner. Oh, everything is centered around food, and it's not bad that we center it around food. But what kind of food are we eating?
Yeah,
Where are we going? What are we doing? How
yeah,
are we handling this? And do you have the fortitude, the discipline to look at that menu and figure out what you should be eating?
yeah. And just to reiterate something that you said earlier, like food is for fuel. Like you should eat to live, not live to eat.
Live to eat. Don't do that.
Um,
Don't do that.
man, yo, there was this, bro. It was crazy. There was this um documentary on HBO talking about America. It was about the food. It was about the food that we eat, bro. And there was this young lady who would go on date night by herself and date the meal.
What kind of mental health?
Bro, she was like the when you talked about the addiction to food, the food had become so dominant in her, like she would like talk to the food about like how much she loved the food. I think it was called What the Health.
Oh, well, what the hell? They
Wait,
they
wait, no, no,
they
no. That's the
ruined they
McDonald's
ruined a
guy,
bunch
right?
of stuff for me. That was on Netflix, I think.
Hold on, nah, that's What the Hell. Hold on. It had to do with What the Health was the McDonald's guy, right? Who ate McDonald's for like
No, 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 no. That was Super Size Me, and he died.
when?
That brother died. Look it up. I can't remember his name right now, but the Super Size Me documentarian passed away. He had all these health complications after eating the same meal. He had Big Macs like three times a day,
Yep.
with the milkshake and all that good stuff. He gained mad weight, had heart issues, all kinds of stuff. He lost the weight,
Mhm.
but then he had a lot of health issues after he died. So yeah,
Wow,
yeah, that man checked out of here, and McDonald's is still thriving.
bro, they still going, man. Oh, it's called Weight of the Nation.
Okay, no, I didn't see that one.
Weight of the Nation. Nah, What the Health is on Netflix. That was a series on
Mm-hmm.
Netflix. I couldn't let that go. It was called Weight of the Nation. And
Okay.
one of the ladies that they interviewed, she was just like, I love food. I love the way it tastes. I love the way it looks. I love the
Wow.
way it smells. Every Tuesday night, I look forward to my time. Like it was just like, oh my gosh, man. And so when you talk about just the addictions and the mental and the mind when it comes to food, man, I think you definitely tapped into something that we don't always consider. And I do like I actually love good food. I love good tasting food.
Yeah.
And we're spoiled coming up in Patterson because we have so many ethnicities
Right.
here that cooks well. They season well, they cook well, and you can literally have a different ethnicity every day.
Every night.
Every
Every single night, man.
and so you kind of get spoiled by that, but I do know that it is something that we definitely have to really consider how much of this really has control because when you're getting angry because you can't I mean like really angry guy y'all that irritability like that or that irritable thing you get when you
Yeah.
fasting like that shows you everything
It's real,
that
man.
that's very real. And that first couple of days, because I went through the process that Dre is talking about, the 48 hours, and if you can make it that 48 hours, like you can really start to rewire, retrain your mind as it pertains to how you eat, what you eat, when you eat, and the way you eat it. Um, because what's happening during that detox, your body is detoxing from these things that have filled your body.
Hmm.
What the caffeine, the sugars, the salts, like your body's going through a little withdrawal
Pretty
because
much.
they like, yo, where that sugar at? Bring that sugar. Like
Give me that.
bring that salt. But I noticed that like because there are times when like we really don't drink a lot of sugary drinks, but there are times like when we're really strict with it, when we go back, like when I say you immediately, the saliva is so thick,
It's too
man, and this
much. Yeah.
that thing hits you, and it's like, whoa. And
It's
so,
too much.
we've definitely experienced that. But bro, man, I kind of want to pivot, man, because as I mentioned, y'all, Dre is a multifaceted, talented Renaissance brother, man. He sings, he plays the drums. Dre is also a coach. Dre coaches volleyball
Hmm.
on the collegiate level. Man, let's talk about how, in this season of your life, you've been able to move and work multiple talents and gifts, and what that has done, just for your life, and you being able to provide, for your home, and actually, it's almost like you're doing what you love, actually, in all of those
Hmm.
spaces. Because when we have conversations, it's never like, oh man, I don't want to do that. Like, what I mean? It's
Yeah.
there's some energy and some passion behind it, man. So, let's just talk about it. First, let's start with this one. Let's start with the singing, man.
Ah.
Man,
Music is my first love, man. Music was my first love, and I'm still really, I can still be very, very shy about it, right?
mhm.
Like, I'm like Erica Badu, I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my stuff. Um, because it's like it means something to you, and because it really means something to you, you want everybody to enjoy it, but you
Yeah,
almost don't want to let everybody hear it just in
yeah,
case they don't enjoy it, because that when they hit you with those darts, they sting a little bit more than everything
yeah,
else. Um, like, yeah, I grew up playing the drums. I'm a pocket drummer, you know what I mean? Like, I did what I had to do, but singing was always a passion. And like, your gifts really do make room for you.
yeah,
So I've been in church talking about training, and it led to me singing. I've been there to sing, and it led to me training. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
one thing leads to another, but singing is absolutely a passion, and I'm grateful to, like, any opportunity I get to share, because it
yeah,
helps me grow.
yeah,
Every single time I get to glean from people like Percy,
yeah.
um, who I think is next level amazing. I think Percy is
Absolutely.
absolutely phenomenal in what he does.
Yep.
And there's so many fantastic artists that I listen to. I mean, local, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Travis Taylor, you know
Yes,
what I'm
sir.
saying? Dion, and then like my wife, bruh,
Now,
my
this is
hold
about
up,
you, bro.
hold up, man. But wait,
You
before
know we
time
cannot
out, I
mention.
know, I know,
You know
but
we cannot mention. Yo, bro, we will take the rest of this interview to talk about your wife, right?
let me tell you something, man. My wife be making me like rethink and reconsider whether I still want to sing. Okay, like she is phenomenal. She's gifted. She's special. Her gift brought me to her. Like, that's how I found her. Like, I
Yeah.
found her with she was singing background for Jasmine Sullivan, and I heard her. I've
Yo,
always, like, come on.
if you've gone to sing the musical MJ, Katherine Jackson is Andre's wife. Her name is Ayanna Jackson. That is Andre's wife. That is who he's talking about. But she is one you can definitely say Google her.
Like, Google her, okay? And she's not in
She,
MJ anymore. She's in a play called Goddess at the Public Theater, and we'll move as we're supposed to move. But in terms of singing, it's hard. It's hard for me to even think about it and not mention her.
yeah, bro. I mean, again, but and it's great, right? Because I'm sure it inspires you, bro. Because I can't sing. I don't sing as well as you, but when I hear her, I be wanting to go, ooh, this. I be like, Ayana, oh my gosh, like
It's
just, but bro, because and again, y'all, Dre is so humble with his singing. I want you to go to his IG page. Dre, what's your IG page?
Mr. Andre Lamar
Mr.
on it.
Andre Lamar.
Yeah.
Skip over the D'Angelo pictures. Just go to his car chronicles, or when he's in the gym and he just I said this boy this boy out here clickbaiting people, man. Like, oh man. So y'all, Dre is not only the president, but he's also the client, right? He's also the client. But no, man, it's just an amazing thing, bro. And I really get inspired by when you're in the gym alone and you're like, yo, I just felt the presence of God to worship, or I just felt the presence
That's
of God
it.
to sing a tune. And it's so inspiring, bro. And tell me about, how was it even connecting to, like, Riff? We grew up on them, bro. We've
Man,
seen them on TV. We've seen them do local shows. We've seen them do national shows. Like, when I heard that you was a part of them, I'm like, ooh, that's nasty.
it's
Ooh,
crazy. It's crazy how like it's crazy how God moves and how he works. Like I said, he gave us gifts, and your gifts really do make room for you when you allow yourself to be a vessel for
yeah,
him to use as he sees fit, right? I had no idea how things would translate. If I'm in the gym and I got my camera recording because I'm going through a move, or I want to post this, or I want to, like, document X, Y, and Z, and I'm listening to, I don't know, Zacardi or whatever worship music in the gym, I'll just end up posting that. You know what I mean? Because it was sincere and it was authentic. And then you have no idea how that's gonna like open a door and what that's gonna lead to. The same thing happened with Riff. I was just in church doing what I was asked to do. And I probably didn't even want to sing this particular day. And they asked me to sing, and I'm like, fine, I'm gonna sing the song. But if I'm gonna do it, I'm never gonna do it halfway. I'm gonna do it to the best of my ability.
yeah,
And Mike's mom was at the church, and she was like, man, I love your voice. And I'm like, okay. And she says, my son has to hear you. I'm not even thinking about who her son is. I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Come to find out, her son is Nitty Green of Riff.
yeah,
And she calls me one night after rehearsal and was like, Mike said he need to hear you. I just send me something. I'm like, I don't have nothing. I don't have nothing recorded. She says, I don't care what it is. I sang John Legend's version of Angel on a voice note and
yeah,
sent it. And I got a call the next day for an audition. He was like, yo, I need you to come to the house. We're gonna chop it up. I said, all right, cool. I go to his house. It was an audition. He told me it was gonna be a conversation, but the whole group was there. And now I'm nervous, and I sang Donny Hathaway a cappella, and the rest is history. And they
yo, what
threw
you
me
sing,
under the
Dre?
bus.
How you sing it?
Um, I just sang a song for you. Yeah, I ain't doing it here. you
I
ain't
was
you
trying to
ain't
sneak
slick.
it
You
in.
ain't slick, bro. you ain't slick.
Yo, man, shout out to our brother Percy that's on. Our big bro. Big bro Percy is on. See, Percy, we all need to hear it. I know.
See, here y'all go with the nonsense, man. But
We all need to hear it. And y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all, Dre was on the stage with Travis, with
um,
Percy, with Felicia Farrar. Like, he was
that was the
on.
day I met Percy.
Psst,
I met Percy that day. Percy came in to the gym, and he sat next to me, and he clowned from the very beginning. And the rest is history.
yo,
Like history. That is my bro.
it
I
was
love
a
that guy.
really, really good mix of presentation between all of them, and I think Brother Haas was on that too.
Yeah, he was.
Um, but it was just an amazing presentation, man. So shout out to Percy. Percy said you are his vocal coach.
He lying.
But yeah, man, and so you get to navigate these spaces, you do it well, and then when you're not singing, you then
Coaching.
coach. You,
I'm coaching.
you're coaching, man. Talk about that, because all right, one, coaching pays,
Mm-hmm.
training pays,
Mm-hmm.
singing pays.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, you'd have been called unstable in all your ways.
I still got people that call me unstable.
Man, let's dive into that on how it's necessary to have multiple talents and gifts that you're able to work simultaneously.
Bro, when I tell you they all line up, so Singing takes care of, certain business, and it got me into Riff, and we're going to Arizona in a couple weeks, and then we'll be in Detroit a couple of weeks after that, and then we'll be in Patterson in between, and all these things are bringing income, right? While I
Right.
get the chance to do what it is that I love to do. But on top of that, I get to tie in fitness into it because the brothers reach out to me about, hey, I've got diabetes. How can I manage this? So because I have some knowledge and some expertise here, I can offer insight and information while we're at rehearsal for our singing and dancing and stuff. And then coaching, coaching came about because of fitness. Somebody saw me. I worked at the YMCA in Newark on Broad Street, and a guy there saw me training a class of like 12 people. And he says, my girls could use stuff like this. What girls? He says, come by Tuesday night. I came up there. He's got 60 girls, aged 13 to 18, all
Wow.
playing volleyball. And I'm like, I don't know nothing about this. He said, just do what you do. So I trained him. The parents love me. His assistant coach says, here, take my number. If something comes across my desk, I'll let you know. About 3 months after that, he calls me and he links me with my current head coach. So I go to Hudson Catholic in Jersey City to train his volleyball team. He
Yeah.
used to have a trainer who was in Slam magazine and all that good stuff, but he was like, I like the way you train. That led to me being an assistant coach with the high school team, the high
Yeah.
school girls team. That led to me being an assistant coach with the high school girls and the boys team. That led to Bloomfield College. And
Yeah.
then then we went on to Ramapo. We won our first college championship. And I actually
Congrats.
had to sing, had to sing the national anthem there. So it's all encompassing. It's all tied in. So I've gotten to sing in front of my team. I've gotten to train my girls, and I'm coaching them.
Man, this is
Everything is
good.
tied in.
This,
Everything is tied in.
this is good, really, because as I mentioned, man, traditionally we grew up. And what's crazy is, man, when you go to a family size church, you do multiple things. But for
Facts.
some reason, they don't connect or tie, like, hey, you're doing more than one thing and you're actually doing it well. And then, so how can this translate to now monetize? And we know that in this current economy, that you have to be able to do multiple things, not just have multiple streams, but also be able to do multiple things until
Hmm.
you can get the multiple streams. And I'm specifically saying it that way because multiple streams means different avenues that does not include you. Multiple things means that it includes you,
Right.
right? And so until you get multiple streams, you have to do multiple things so that you can invest and finance multiple streams. Then you can narrow down the multiple things, right? But
dig the ditch and lay the foundation so that the streams can flow. Do the work on the front end so that you can sit and relax on the back end.
this is
Active
good.
into passive. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
this is good, Dre, man.
Do the work.
Man, honestly, bro, I really appreciate the love, man, and just how you just kind of helped me to stay where I'm supposed to stay. And y'all, and listen, Dre is he's the pastor of fitness. When you in sin, you don't be wanting to talk to him. Like when y'all be in sin, y'all don't want to talk to the pastor. Y'all hear the sermon and then y'all beeline. And it's like when you ain't right, it's like when I haven't seen Dre in a few months, and I know I'm gonna see Dre, I just be thinking like, dang, Jay, you ain't pick up a weight, you've been picking up chicken legs, like you've been picking up thighs, fried at that. Dre gonna say something, and he's been nice to me the last couple of times because there's been some gaps in our time, but I'm always reminded, man, and you want to be around people that always keeps you reminded of what you need to do right.
Yeah.
I mean, so that relationship, man, is important, man. But just ultimately, man, like just how you been doing, um, just mentally, emotionally, with everything that's going on with you in terms of the navigating the multiple things. I know you said they all line up, but I also know that you do have a mental toughness about you, and I want the people to know like what it takes to navigate, doing multiple things well mentally.
Well, I'm gonna
Um,
give you the truth and not the lie.
there we go.
It's hard. It's not easy, especially in this space now, being married, right? Because I'm not only focused on me. My son is grown. So at one point it was me focused on making sure my son was okay and then making sure my mom was good. Well, now it's different. It's my wife, right? So it's hard in this space because things don't always go the way you want them to go. And it's
Yeah,
not easy to do this kind of thing. It would be easier to get a traditional, corporate job and stay in that space and you know exactly where your paycheck is coming from. But I recognize for me that I don't operate well in that space. I don't operate well. It doesn't mean that I can't do it. I can do it, but I don't operate well in that space. And I don't believe that that's where I'm supposed to be. Even though this path may seem more difficult, I genuinely believe that God is pulling me in this direction. And the
yeah,
hardest part is when the people closest to you can't see the vision because they're the ones that you like, they have your ear. And when
yeah.
they say, well, I think you need to, and I think you need to do this, and you know for a fact that God has told you something different, and you're supposed to go in this way, but it's hard now because I heard what God told me to do. I just don't know when it's going to happen. And
Mm,
now I got to wait. But when I'm waiting almost like I'm waiting tables. I'm not sitting here on my hands,
there
not
we go.
doing anything. I'm
I
serving,
like that.
right? I'm
Like,
actively waiting. Okay. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm learning. I'm like Ruth, like she was working, right? She wasn't looking for her husband, she was working. And he saw her because of how diligent she was, and she was fine, and this, that, and the third, but she was handling business. So, in the process of waiting for God to do his part, do what he said he was going to do, like fulfill his promise, I'm
talk to
just trying to wait. And it's hard.
talk to me.
It's hard. This is that the discipline aspect. The gym for me now is easy. The hard part is saying, all right, you told me this is where you want me to be. You know that school ain't paid me yet.
Ooh,
All right, cool. You send me to that scripture where you remind me that the sparrows eat and they don't get up working. Okay, all right, cool. I hear you. I hear you. The food's coming. All right, I'm not going to worry about that.
let's go.
But then you got somebody that you love in your ear, like, hey, didn't you say that check was coming? Yeah, it's coming. It's in the mail.
It's on. It's on.
It's
It's
coming.
on a.
It's on the way.
It's on a 90-day net pay. It
I'm
ain't even on a
waiting.
30. It ain't
You
even on.
know,
It's on
so
like a.
it gets hard. It gets
Yeah.
really hard. So like it's not hard for me to get up and go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. It's not hard for me to get up and say I'm going to eat lean protein and I'm going to eat less carbs unless it's like a carb loading day and I need it for energy. I'm going to make sure that I limit my processed foods because ultimately for me, I'm looking at it like this. If I don't eat like this, then I won't be prepared when my opportunity comes. I won't be able to be out here fit and running with my team. I won't be physically capable to coach these three teams that I got. I had a men's college team, a women's D1 team, and a high school boys team all this season. I'm not going to have the ability to rip and run and do all of this if I'm not doing the little things that nobody sees in my kitchen
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
while I'm waiting and I'm actively serving and doing what I know I'm called to do, waiting on this opportunity to come. And I know it's coming, but I'm waiting. I'm waiting with anticipation and not fear or anxiety, right? But I can get aggravated because I got people in my ear and you can feel the energy from those around you that look at me as unstable because I don't fit into a traditional box where I'm
That's
not getting up at 6 and going to work and staying at this particular place till 5 and I've got my 401k and everything else set up
yeah.
that
This is
way.
man, Dre. This is what I want to do. I'm gonna give you the full screen for about
Hmm.
60 seconds, right? Well, I'll give you 2 minutes, man. Take your time. But I really want you to like talk to the brothers out there, man. You raised your son, phenomenal
Hmm.
guy, and I mean, just love the interaction. Um, took care of him, taught him responsibility. Um, as a single father,
Hmm.
man, just talk to the brothers about that mental fortitude that's necessary, focusing on the things that really matter, minimizing distractions, man, to help be that example for their children or even just for their family?
Raising my son was the single most difficult and rewarding task that I've ever had to handle. He, I'm so proud of him. I got custody of my son at six when he was 6 years old, and it was a battle up until he was about 17, 16, 17. There was even a stint where he left. And throughout the process, you don't have the luxury or the liberty to remove yourself. You don't have the chance to go, well, this ain't working, so I'm going to step off, right? So it requires the mental fortitude, the discipline of becoming a comprehensive man and not just being hard and masculine. As a single dad, we, especially as black men and growing up in a place like Patterson, we think that we have to be hard all the time. And what I had to learn was my son needed more from me than just my masculinity. He needed all of what I had to offer. And we all tap into the masculine and the feminine. My son needed nourishment and he needed nurturing. Okay. The nourishment was me being a man, a masculine man, going out to get the thing that he needed. The nurturing was actually showing him how to take the nourishment and create it into a meal, right? So
Yeah,
my son helped me become a better man because you don't quit, you don't get it right. I caused trauma for him in the process because I was only 16 when he was born. He and I grew up together. So
mm,
now we're in a place where my son is a college graduate. He played football on a scholarship. He won a conference championship. He's a musician. He is an engineer, and he's a carpenter. He's a blue collar kid. Like he always liked to work with his hands, but he's a carpenter, and soon he's got some other things on the horizon. I won't speak of it because I understand about speaking on things too prematurely, right? Everybody don't want to see us win. But I'm so proud of who he is and what he's becoming. He just turned 26 last month. And I'm like, that boy has not been to jail. He hasn't been shot, thank God. He's been covered, and I played a part in that. I wasn't the whole of it, but I played a part in it because it really does require community. So as a part of, this discipline and learning to be a comprehensive man and not just masculine, it is learning that you need help, that no man is an island because I didn't do it by myself. His godfather is Trey. Trey was a huge help. My mom was there. She was a
yeah,
huge help. And my sis, Holly, she served as a mother figure for him. Like I needed all of this to learn how to be better.
this
Just
is
dealing
good.
with him on a daily basis is why I can go to the gym. That's easy. Like eating a healthy meal, that's easy. That's easy. But pushing past judgment, pushing past people looking at me sideways because I was the church drummer, and the church turned its back on me. The church kicked my back in. You supposed to be a Christian, and you supposed to be this, and you out here, now you got a baby, and look at you. They need to sit you down. You shouldn't be on the drums no more. I can't believe you did that. And them same fools came back to me when they see how smart he is and how respectful he is. And they
Yeah,
go, "Oh my God, he's so sweet." And I'm looking at you like, I will punch you in your throat, but God has worked on me a little bit. So I won't hit you in your throat, but I really want to punch you in the throat because I remember what you said to me when I was 16.
yeah,
I was so young and impressionable, and when I needed y'all to help me, you didn't. So I had to learn a part of that process. God allowed me to go through that because he showed me you don't need everybody's approval. I had exactly who I needed. My
yeah.
father, when I told my father, I told him first, when I told my dad that she was pregnant, my father sat on the couch with his feet on the coffee table and the remote in his hand. And he never looked at me. And he changed the channel and said, "Well, what you gonna do?" I said, "Well, I'm gonna take care of him if you mind." He said, "All right, you told your mama yet?" "No, what you waiting on?" That was
Mm,
it. I knew then that I was gonna be okay. But I also knew it because I had my father as my primary example, and then I had my what I call my second dad, Joe Greer.
shout out to Joe Greer.
Pop, come on, man. Like Pop was the reason why I went and became a registered USA boxing coach. And
Yes,
Pop
sir.
is the one that I watch protect women.
Another talent and skill. Dre boxes, but go ahead.
But like me having my son, God has a way of doing things that all line up, and there's no way for me to have predicted how it was going to go. But I'm
Yeah,
so grateful that it went exactly the way it did.
yeah,
It couldn't have gone any other way.
yeah,
My son is largely like the one of the primary reasons I am who and how I am today. If it hadn't been for having a kid out of wedlock, if it
yeah,
hadn't been for his mom being the way she was and me having sole custody of him from 6 years old and me
yeah,
dealing with him crying every single night because he wanted his mom and not me in that moment. That's tough. It was hard. So you want to like, yeah, me doing this without my father there because my dad died when I was 18.
yeah,
So
yeah,
it's like, yeah, it was hard. Like training is easy. And looking at people who look down on me for going about it, to taking the unbeaten path and not going a traditional route, telling me, oh, jack of all trades. You know what they say, jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah, but if you Negroes actually read the whole quote, you'd understand more about it. Okay. Jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than the master of one. And that's
yeah,
not me knocking anybody who has mastered the one thing. It just means that we're all necessary, right? There are needs for people who are basically savants at this one thing. I only need you for that one thing because you're so great at it. There's nobody better than you at that one thing. And then there's people like me who can fill in the gaps and handle a bunch of the other stuff. Every one of us has a particular purpose. And I used to feel bad because I wasn't like somebody else. I'm never supposed to be like everybody else.
yeah.
I'm supposed to go this way, whether you believe it or not. Your belief won't put me in no grave and it won't save me either.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah,
I know what he told me. And
yeah,
what he told me ain't what he gave you. It's not your vision. Okay. He gave it to me. So I'm supposed to see it through and trust him in the process. And then everybody else will come on the back end and see what it was or what it was supposed to be once it's fulfilled. And when we get there, you'll have the ones like, I was with that boy from the beginning.
yeah, yeah. Yup.
So yeah, that's where it's at. So in terms of the mental fortitude, it doesn't come from or the source is God. The source is the
Yeah,
creator. And my trust and my faith in what he's put in me, on me, and knowing that he's going to provide for me to get it.
man, this is amazing, bro, and I really appreciate you taking time out to man just share your life with us. Again, if you are looking for a trainer, looking for someone, he does also virtual training
Hmm.
sessions. Um, when he finally started to trust me a little bit, he would start another client while I was still there finishing up a workout. He would start another client online, but I was there physically in person. But it took a while. He had to trust me a little bit, make sure I wasn't cheating when he turned his back. But man, at one point, Dre, what was that? What was that joint where you do the roll and then you come up?
Oh, that's the warrior drill.
Yo, man, listen, Dre had me looking like, psh, yo,
Yeah, man.
I was the actual trainer.
That's my
Yeah,
warrior drill.
man, that warrior drill was amazing, full body workout. Like,
Hmm.
and I mean, at some point, I got to doing 135.
Yeah.
That's when I was just like, oh man, this feels great, and it was like I was looking forward to ending my workout with that drill. I mean, it would take
Hmm.
the rest of my energy from me, but it just that really gave me the sign of how strong I was becoming and
Yeah.
how fit I was becoming because again, that cardio that's involved in that's cardio and strength building, that particular drill. Like you got cardio, you can get winded
Hmm.
going from burpee to lifting the press, going into your press.
Yeah.
You can you can get very very winded in between that. And so, man, thank you for pushing, thank you for the challenge, man. Last words for tonight, bro.
Bro, last words are directed at you.
I'm listening.
I love you. I'm proud of what you're doing, and I've been watching, and I'm proud of your diligence, right? This is not an easy task to take on, because I know there's times when you come on live, whether it was just a regular live on FB or now, you have more of a platform and there's only one person there. Maybe
Yeah,
nobody's shown up and you still got to push through and speak on whatever your topic is, whatever God's laid on your heart to speak on, regardless of who's listening right now.
yep,
It takes mental fortitude to do that because mental fortitude shows through your trust and your discipline. Your trust in God and discipline over the task that's been given to you is remarkable, right? It's not just in the gym and it's not
yeah,
just in the kitchen. This is really all encompassing. There's the physical aspect of going to the gym and eating a certain way. There is the soul, and then there's the spirit. And I'm really proud of what you're building, and I'm
yeah,
looking forward to seeing how far God's going to take you in the process.
man.
Keep pushing.
Thank you,
Keep
bro.
doing what you're called to do. Don't
Yeah,
let anybody deter you from it, regardless of what naysayers may come and try to put on you. I rebuke all of it, but I know there's purpose in
yeah,
what you're doing, and you can tell that there's purpose when you look at who gravitates towards you.
yeah,
So you got great, great men that I see that gravitate towards you. And then I look at your wife and I watch how she supports you. I watch
yeah,
how she looks at you. We had to go and celebrate with Percy
yeah,
uh when his family passed. And I watched your wife and how she looked at you. I was paying, I'm observant. I watch
yeah,
everything. I watched how she looked at you. You can tell a lot about a man when you look at how his wife looks at him and how she stands by him, how she makes
yeah,
sure he has what he needs. God's
yeah.
got his hands on you. He got his hands on your house and your family.
Thanks,
And
bro.
the like you come from good stock.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I know your brothers and what that is, bro. You're doing great work. Um, I'm always praying for you and Percy, Mark, Alex, Antoine, Warren, the whole crew, Bishnu. I'm always praying for the brothers, even, when we don't speak, but I'm really loving what you're doing. My last words are for just to encourage you
Thank
to
you, bro.
keep going. You know what I mean? Like God's got his hands on you. I'm
Yeah,
proud of this. I'm proud of you, and I want to see where he's taking you, man. Because I already know he's going to take us all to a special place.
absolutely.
Um, in this realm, like right here, before we're called up to
There we
glory.
go.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like, so I know we all got something special to bring to the table, but I'm enjoying watching you and your growth in this space.
man. Thanks so much, bro. I really appreciate those words. Um, yeah, that's man. I'm gonna sleep good tonight, my boy. I ain't gonna call you tonight just to say good night though. Like we good on that. Hey, babe. Uh, Dre announced that Ayana's in a new place, so let's add that to the list. So this summer, Shaquille and I have started planning our musical and restaurant tour for this thing
Okay.
that we're gonna do, and so we'll add. I'll make sure to check, make sure it's still running.
Yeah,
We'll
I
add,
got you on that. I got you on dates.
yeah, we'll add Goddess to the list. Definitely, looking forward to that. But ladies and gentlemen, this is all the time that we have. I thank my brother Dre for this conversation tonight. If you're watching the replay, talking to my brother Andre Jackson, Relentless Performance LLC.
Hmm.
He's a coach. He's a friend. He's a brother. He can sing. He can play the drums. He's just a renaissance man. He does it very, very well. And I thank God for the relationship. But here we go. We are 6 days away from our first night of Infusion. So if you have not registered for Saturday, make sure you register for Saturday. If you can't attend Saturday, then lock Friday night in. You want to be there Friday night with my sister Kiana Coley, my brother Percy Robinson, and the big homie from Chicago, my brother Dr. Jamone Glenn. Uh, I'm not hyping. I really need y'all to understand what's going to take place. But just, whenever you watch this conversation, make sure you log on to cccofnj.org. Hit the flyer as it pops up. It'll take you to the registration page, man, and just reserve your seat, because Friday night will be the worship. Saturday morning will be the instruction. We're closing this first half of the year out strong, and we're going to end the year even stronger. So thank you all for your time tonight, bro. Again, I love you. I appreciate you.
Love you, man.
All the best in your endeavors. Everybody have a great and wonderful night.
Family, what up? I have a question for you today. It's with a little sense of urgency. Here's the word. Here's the question. It is, what are you doing? Serious question that I'm asking right now. What are you doing? What are you doing with your gifts? What are you doing with your talents? What are you doing with your time? What are you doing with your resources? With all of the challenges that are happening in us and around us, this is the perfect opportunity for us to create. This is the perfect opportunity for us to partner, collaborate, be in the right environments where solutions are being discussed. There's something that's happening June 6th and 7th that I think will be a perfect opportunity for all of us to come together. And it's our second installment of Infusion. And the focus and the theme is the word innovate. Oh yeah, we're going to be talking solutions. We're going to be talking creating. We're going to be talking renovating. We're going to be talking modernizing. We're going to be talking about progress and moving forward, because the solution is within us. So if you feel stuck, you want to be there June 6th and 7th. You feel frustrated, you want to be there June 6th and 7th, because there is something you can do about it. I've invited my good brother, Dr. Jamone Glenn, to join us as we curate this education to give us the tools that we need to be innovative. Sometimes necessity is the fuel for innovation. And I believe now is the time for us to create. See you June 6th and 7th.